Part 29. Sent off my caravan team to trade with various countries, also diplomatic purpose. The drill came to an end, and the caravan was ready. An auspicious day was chosen, and Ming Yu personally supported the caravan. Bua Tan took the wine handed over by Ming Yu, and the excitement in his heart was indescribable. He had waited for this day for too long. He has always been a fool in this crappy place like Liangcheng, and has been looked down upon by others. Now that Prince Duan gave him this opportunity, he was able to fight hard and get ahead, which made him grateful. My prince, the villain will definitely live up to your trust and try his best to do things for the prince. The villain will definitely complete the task assigned by the prince. After Bua Tan finished speaking, he drank the wine in the bowl. Ming Yu nodded and patted his shoulder. Take care of yourself here, put people first, the rest are within the scope of your ability, just do your best. You have to come back with all your tales, I'll wait for you. For the first time, Ming Yu gave up his identity and waited for an old friend who was about to travel safely back in the form of a friend. Ming Yu sighed that now, unlike later generations, the transportation is not developed. Even if it is a global run, it feels very close. Although from Ming Yu's point of view, the countries in the western regions have not yet left the territory of our great country, and at most it is a domestic tour. However, it takes a year and a half to come back to do business in various countries in the western regions. For such a long time, I will not talk about the time and energy spent in the middle. And the dangers on the road are also unpredictable. Others aside, I just hope that this team can return safely. Bua Tan was so moved that he bowed deeply to Ming Yu. Prince Duan to experience adventures, a corporal, is lenient in treating others, and being able to follow such a master is a blessing he has cultivated in several lifetimes. He made up his mind to be loyal to His Royal Highness Prince Duan for the rest of his life, and to spare no expense for the prince. Ming Yu helped him up, and then looked at the guards behind him. There were 200 people in the Red Robe Army and 200 people in the guard camp. They were integrated together. I believe that with them, this trip will be a complete success. On this trip to the west, I believe that there will be difficulties, but you are all my soldiers of Dayan Country, and you are a well-known iron-blooded man. I believe that such difficulties can be solved perfectly with the concerted efforts of everyone. Your trip, not only it is for this prince, and a lot of it is for Dayan Country's future. Ming Yu said loudly. Everyone looks solemn, shoulders straight, they have a heavy responsibility, but they must not be overwhelmed. General Xie has already explained your mission clearly. You only need to keep the mission in mind anytime, anywhere. This prince will wait for you to complete the mission and return. And then I will take care of you in person. The wine bowl that had been prepared a long time ago, this prince is here to toast you, and I wish you a smooth journey. It's done. He drank it all in one gulp and showed the empty bottom of the bowl. The soldiers below also took the bowls of wine and drank it heroically. I will live up to your trust and will definitely complete the task. Ming Yu nodded with satisfaction. Remember that you are Dayan Country's soldiers, walk out of Dayan Country. You represent the face of the country of Dayan Country. No matter where you go, you must not fall into the country's might of our Dayan Country. Yes. The might of the Dayan Country. Xie Yishou on the side looked at the figure of Ming Yu in front of him. At this time, Ming Yu was no longer as plump as when they first met. He lost a lot of weight, and his height also jumped up. The whole person looks like a modest jade can attract everyone's attention. These days when he came to Liangcheng, he spent a lot of energy on planning for Liangzhou. The leader glanced at time and reminded, the auspicious time has come, and we can leave. Bua Tan glanced at Ming Yu and saw him nodding. So he made a salute, got on his horse, raised his hand and waved, "Let's go." With the sound of horses' hoofs, the carriages lined up in a row slowly started, heading west. Ming Yu watched the caravan go away, and he couldn't tell what it was like in his heart. Everything is difficult at the beginning. As long as you take this step, everything will develop towards the good side. Xie Yishuo stepped forward. Can they really succeed? Ming Yu looked back at him, his eyes full of confidence. I believe in them. They will give a satisfactory answer. Xie Yishuo was a little dazed. He didn't understand why Ming Yu has such confidence. See that at the beginning, Ming Yu had already thought so far when he was courting him for the first time? He still remembered that when Ming Yu put the whole plan in front of him, he was not only surprised but also shocked and admired. Ming Yu is becoming more and more incomprehensible to him. To be able to make such a big game. He does not believe that only Ming Yu can design it so perfectly. I still remember Ming Yu expounding his thoughts with a smug expression. This caravan is not only going to various countries to trade, but they also have diplomatic responsibilities. It is best to contact the nobles of various countries in the western regions, make friends with them, and tell them that in the east, there is a country called Dayan, which is mysterious, kind, civilized, and powerful. Their silk porcelain is the best thing in the world. And the Dayan country is friendly to all the countries in the western regions, and is willing to form an alliance with them and have long-term business exchanges. If this move is successful and Dayan country can get the support of the countries in the western regions, then the situation in Liangzhou will show unprecedented changes. Long-term business exchanges have made the caravans of all countries concentrated in Liangcheng. Will Liangcheng be as barren and desolate as it is now? If you think about it further, the Suishi country is between Dayan and the countries in the western regions. If they form an alliance, then the Suishi country will be confronted by the enemy. At that time, can the Suishi country still be so unscrupulous? Hopefully. Xie Yishuo sighed with hope, and for the first time hoped that Ming Yu's plan could be truly implemented perfectly. His soldiers were always the best. You should also believe them. When they return, that will be the time when Liangzhou will change the situation. The most urgent task now is to manage the bandits in Liangzhou. If the bandits are not eliminated, the people will hardly have a stable day. Ming Yu finally got on a horse with the help of his personal soldiers. Now he does not dare to ride a horse alone. Only able to pace slowly and leisurely on horseback. Xie Yishuo followed half a horse behind him, looked at him sideways, and said involuntarily, Liangzhou gangsters have been in trouble for a long time, and it would be difficult to wipe them out in one fell swoop. Ming Yu's whole body and mind were concentrated on the reins in his hands. He has to hold the rope tightly with both hands, and he has to control the direction of the horse. Hearing that at this moment, he nodded and said, I know. You can't just ignore it just because it's difficult, right? Even if they are cunning and cruel, there will always be a way to deal with them, right? He looked at Xie Yishuo. But the horse under him snorted violently, making him turn around in shock, afraid that the horse would fall out of control and fall down, although the subordinates chose him as particularly tame. Honest horse. Also, the soldiers guarded him, but he was a little nervous and scared. Xie Yishuo showed a smile, which was fleeting, and then said in a cold voice, Don't hold the reins too tightly. Relax your body, don't be too tight. Ah? Ming Yu then realized that Xie Yishuo was teaching him to ride a horse, did as he said, loosened the tight reins a little, but the tight body couldn't relax. If you ride like this, you will be very tired. Relax your body and don't use too much strength. Xie Yishuo said again. Ming Yu suddenly gave him a big smile and looked at him with bright eyes. Xie Yishou's heart tightened, and he responded subconsciously, Ming Yu, what else should bother him? Sure enough, Ming Yu then said, General Xie, Wen Dao is proficient in everything, especially horseback riding. Why don't you teach me how to ride a horse? It can be taught in half a while. If I had known that, he should not have been more vocal. Xie Yishou's first reaction was to refuse. My prince, this minister is busy with affairs and has no spare time. What is the relationship between us? There is no need to say polite words. Don't worry, this prince is talented and intelligent, and it won't take long for me to learn to ride a horse. If the general can teach, this prince will definitely accept this feeling. The mountains will not turn the water, and there will be more opportunities for us to cooperate in the future, General Xie. Don't you think? Ming Yu threw out a lot of reasons before Xie Yishou completely refused, and let the one simply cannot refuse. What is their relationship? Can it matter? As a prince, how could Ming Yu speak so nonchalantly? At this moment, Xie Yishou could only swallow the words out of his mouth. The opportunity for cooperation that Ming Yu mentioned really made him unable to simply refuse. It's just that this troublesome matter gave him some headaches. This prince knows that General Xie is busy with military affairs. Anyway, this prince is not in a hurry. When General Xie is free, I will make an appointment. What do you think? Ming Yu decided with a smile. He is his coach anyway, anything can be done according to him. Xie Yishou twitched the corners of his mouth. It's okay. Since the prince asked the minister to teach equestrianism, then everything should be done according to the rules of the minister. I don't know if the prince is willing. Ming Yu nodded with a smile. Yes, why not? It's hard to find a lantern, it's up to you. Then let's start now, Xie Yishou said. He rode 2 steps forward, parallel to Ming Yu. And then the whip in his hand pointed at Ming Yu's body. Head, keep your body upright, relax your shoulders, look straight ahead, don't look down at the horse, keep your chest up. Keep your legs natural, and relax your knees. The whip points are where Ming Yu's movements are irregular. Xie Yishou Yi. As soon as he corrected it, Ming Yu was caught off guard. He had a bitter face. And he was not ready. He was in a hurry and almost fell off his horse. Seeing Ming Yu in a hurry, Xie Yishou was happy. Maybe it would be a good thing to teach him to ride a horse. General Xie. General Xie, be merciful. Oops. No way. I can't do it. My legs are sore. Although he understands this truth, Ming Yu still finds it difficult to let go of his hands and feet, which is much more difficult than learning to drive in later generations. Xie Yishou corrected his posture, which was indeed much better than at the beginning, and he was much more relaxed. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. He was about to say something, when a whip whistled behind him, and then the horse neighed, and the speed began to speed up. When Ming Yu reacted, he realized that Xie Yishou had whipped a whip on his horse while he was not paying attention, speeding him up. Ah! Ming Yu began to exclaim. He couldn't bear this speed. General Xie, Xie Yishou. What are you doing on purpose? Help! It's over. It's over. You are conspiring to make money and kill your own husband. In his panic, he didn't know the words that popped out of his mouth. The meaning of the representative, don't ask. Asking is just panicking, nonsense. Xie Yishou's face turned dark. And he could only wish for one more whip to make the horse faster and make him talk nonsense. Fortunately, the horses had already distanced themselves from the guards behind him. And the people behind could only vaguely hear the intermittent cries coming from the wind. Just when Ming Yu didn't know what else to say outrageous words, a voice said in his ear, "Lean down and lower your body, master the rhythm of the horse's running, and clamp the horse's body with both legs." Anyway, he heard it, doing what was said, it finally stabilized. Only then did he realize that Xie Yishou had been following him all the time. Ming Yu was relieved. He would never let himself have an accident, right? The strange thought was due to the fact that I had an accident, and Xie Yishou, the culprit, would definitely not be able to escape. Now that he has Xie Yishou's protection, Ming Yu was completely relieved and began to enjoy the joy of galloping in the wind, which was much more comfortable than driving in the future. On a whim, he wanted to go faster, whipped the whip, and shouted the horse to gallop forward. As long as people get dizzy, they don't care at all. Ming Yu, who was scared to death just now, has now let go of his hands and feet, his blood is on his head. And he just wants to pursue the speed of the wind. Xie Yishou frowned slightly, disapproving of Ming Yu's approach. He accelerated for Ming Yu in a measured way, not as reckless as he was. After all, he was a beginner, so it should be slow to fast. Running, of course, is not advisable. Seeing that Ming Yu's horse was already galloping forward, Xie Yishou also speeded up to catch up. Be careful, my prince, you can't go too fast, or you may be injured. Ming Yu smiled back and said cheerfully, no. General Xie, with you here, you will definitely be able to protect me. Right? If Xie Yishou watched him get injured and ignored, I was afraid that someone would impeach him in the court, which would be a problem for him. Today's Ming Yu only wants to be self-willed once. Since he came to Liangzhou, he has seen that the situation in Liangzhou is not optimistic. There is war and famine, and the people are poor and poor. To tell the truth, the pressure in his heart is unprecedentedly large, and he is in his position and seeks his government. As a prince, Liangzhou is his territory, and he has the responsibility and obligation to lead the people under his control to live a better life. When he first came here, he had a very urgent mentality to change all this. But he also knew that changing the current predicament of Liangzhou is not a trivial matter, and it must not be rushed. Therefore, no matter how impatient and urgent, he can only put everything into his heart. He wants to make a lot of money, to use this money to build a new Liangzhou, to change people's livelihood, to let the people live a good life, to want the people of Dayan Country to no longer suffer from the war, and to let the two nationalization of wars into jade and silk, so that the people of the two countries can trade freely. All of this is too difficult. Ming Yu wants money and no money, and needs no hands. Everything can only be delusional. Today, the caravan has finally set off. It has to be said that this caravan carries all Ming Yu's expectations. If such a pathfinder can meet his expectations, then the follow-up development of Liangzhou will not be a problem at all. The road ahead is still long, and the first westward journey of this caravan is destined to go down in history. Xie Yishou looked at Ming Yu's bright smile, and couldn't help being stunned for a moment. The lines on his subconscious face softened a little. Is this person really so sure that he can protect him? However, if you protect it, why is it so difficult? Riding a ride is really a good pastime. It's really great. There is a poem saying, "The silver saddle shines on the white horse, and it is like a shooting star." To be able to chase the stars and the moon, you should be young and frivolous. The suffocation in my heart was completely relieved. No wonder the world loves fragrant cars and good horses. Xie Yishou kept silent and followed closely. The two horses kept pace with each other. Maybe it was because Ming Yu was too complacent, just galloping freely, and didn't notice the sunken gully in front of him. A horse accidentally stumbled, and he was about to be thrown off his horse. It's over, happy and sad. If you were to break your leg, break your hand or something, you would really suffer. His heart was beating so fast, Ming Yu closed his eyes tightly, waiting for the pain that was about to come into contact with the ground. However, the pain did not come as expected, and his back touched his thick, warm chest. When the violently beating heart finally settled back to its original position, Ming Yu opened his eyes and saw a solemn and indifferent face above. It was Xie Yishou who fell out of Ming Yu and caught him at the last minute. Luckily, fortunately, he didn't want to be a crippled prince with a disability and a strong will. Of course, it is the best to be able to have all the beards. The minister said that there will be danger. Xie Yishou brought the ice slag with a cold voice. If it weren't for his quick eyes and quick hands, Ming Yu would have been injured at this moment. Ming Yu resolutely came to life again, smiling cheekily. Thank you. Sure enough, that you can protect me, right? It is because of General Xie that this prince dares to act so recklessly. Xie Yishou pursed his lips and his eyes were deep. Does this person really trust him so much? The horse ran forward for a while before Xie Yishou stopped the horse. The two dismounted. Ming Yu unconsciously became weak in his legs, and he was about to stop, kneeling to the ground. Xie Yishou calmly supported him. Let's stop here today. Riding too fast, I'm afraid you'll get hurt. The prince should go back to the manor to rest early. Otherwise it will be very uncomfortable tomorrow. Xie Yishou gave an extra word of concern. Ming Yu nodded. He was frightened just now, and he was a little weak. At this moment, he felt a little bit of fear, and at the same time made up his mind. Without Xie Yishou's protection, he is determined not to be alone horse racing. This risk factor is too high. After a while, Ming Yu's personal guards caught up. Ming Yu was helped to the carriage, and after he was seated, he stuck his head out. General Xie, I'll make an appointment when I'm free. You promised to teach me how to ride a horse. You must not break your promise. Xie Yishou was speechless. Does he look like this kind of person who breaks his promises and gets fat? But in recent days, Ming Yu may not be able to ride a horse. The carriage slowly moved. He lowered his head, bowed his head and sent Ming Yu away.